Double Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now, residue. It's been a few days for the biggest fight of the year so far. That was Canelo Alvarez beating Danny Jacobs, baby. I thought it was a good fight. You know what I thought? I thought Jacobs won that fight. Not by far, but I thought he won that fight. Thought I was on the island. But a few people have my opinion. Demetrius Andrade is one of them. Feel as though, Jacobs did enough to win that fight. Well, looking at that, well, I mean, it was a close fight, at least. Some people don't even feel it was a close fight. And you can tell it's funny because you haven't heard anybody ask for a rematch, right? Daniel Jacobs and Canelo rematch. It's done. Done deal, right? You didn't hear Daniel Jacobs versus Gennady Golovkin rematch, didn't you? Close fight. Done deal. Normally close fights where you think, whoa, somebody maybe, could have got a decision. It was close. We need to readdress that. All right? Daniel Jacobs didn't get that courtesy against Canelo or Gennady Golovkin, right? And I think that Daniel Jacobs did more against Canelo, right, than Canelo did against Golovkin, for example, right? Or than Golovkin did against Canelo, right? He was right in that area, right? There you go. So those are the things you're saying, so you don't have to readdress these close fights if it's a brother. Example, Canelo Lara did have to readdress that fight. Close fight. Should readdress it. Canelo Trout, open scoring. Don't let me have to explain that again. Shout out to Austin Trout, right? After round 4, you being told, because they tell you after round 4 and 8, how you doing, right? That's open scoring, which is unheard of. And after 4 rounds, looking pretty good against Canelo, he was told he didn't win none. Had to change his plan, got caught, got knocked down, still had a close fight. Didn't have to be readdressed somewhere without open scoring, right? Don't have to be readdressed. But your boy Andre Ward beats Kovalev, gets a nod. There's outrage. He has to fight Kovalev right away. Does. Right? So it's all over the place. Right? Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. Do you think Daniel Jacobs looked better against Canelo than Tyson Fury did against Deontay Wilder, for example? Right? Thinking about Deontay Wilder being the champ, knocking him down twice, right? Knocking him down twice. 50 pounds lighter than the guy. Shoot, that's super featherweight versus a light heavyweight. And we going for the light heavyweight, right? So when you're looking at all that stuff, man, just tell me one thing. When have you ever, and I'm asking anybody, I know many people ain't watching anyway, but go ask a friend this one. How many black fighters will ever versus a non-black fighter gets a close decision, right, without no outrage, or don't have to rematch? Let me say it. Without outrage or don't have to rematch. And that's not what's happening here. We just got to be, look at the proof of BTBG in boxing, and that's beat the black guy. Right, that's what boxing basically is, and it's unfortunate, but we just got to call it for what it is, right? For example, that fight's over with Canelo and Daniel Jacobs, doesn't have to be readdressed, right? And trying to slip Golovkin through the back door, right? Just slip Golovkin through the back door. He's gonna fight Rose, who we don't know. Andrade has the WBO title. He could be getting that. Doesn't have to. Now they're trying to act like Triple G and Canelo. Third fight should go down. Canelo and them not really trying to get that WBO belt from Andrade, right? And my point about Canelo, I'm not saying nothing after that Danny Jacobs fight, except fight Danny Jacobs again or whatever. If not, I'm not going to say, hey, go take the next hard guy if you don't want to. But the fight after that, then maybe. I think Gennady Golovkin should get Andrade. And I'm going to stay with that. Canelo just fought Jacobs. Gennady Golovkin should be the one that gets Demetrius Andrade, and he has the WBO belt. But what's happened is we're allowed, right, for Gennady Golovkin or whatever to say he doesn't bring anything to the table. Like Demetrius Andrade doesn't bring anything to the table. but he brings the WBO belt to the table and danger. Jamal Charlo doesn't bring anything to the table. Remember Abel Sanchez saying that? He don't bring anything to the table. He brings the mandatory position for you and Canelo. And you're mandated to fight him, and Canelo's mandatory until he beats you. That's what he brings to the table. And an undefeated record. And danger. Right? They're allowed to, but Steve Rose, you know, he's good. Right? You know, Dominique Wade, he's awesome. You know, little dude, Curtis Stevens. You know, bottom line is, who can we get GGG to be able to walk down, and preferably a brother, an overmatched brother, that he can walk down. We can sell that. People are going to look at that. They clapped and cheered for GGG to beat up Vanes Marirosa, a dude who's been off a year and a half in the lighter division. So they're going to continue to sell that. Bottom line is, you just got to call it out for what it is and watch it. And brothers be knowing, the boxers, shout out to them boxers, man, that know that this is going down in boxing, know that they're starting with a handicap. It's like, you know, what do y'all think you need a handicap? You know, I got to do more. I got to be more aggressive. But they're fighting anyway, knowing that this is going down, right? Knowing that, you know, I better go in here. I got to do something extra. And that's not being asked. Tyson Fury didn't have to do nothing extra. you know, got knocked down twice. And shoot, after that, was told he won. That's what y'all get now, because you told him he won. Now you're acting up. I might do a video about that, right? Stuff like that, you know. And it's not what should be happening, but it's been happening. You got to call it out. I think that Canelo versus Jacobs could be rematched, just like the other fights, or whatever, right? Like any other fights. And I think that if not, then Gennady Golovkin should fight Andre, but if not, then maybe it's Canelo, that we can get a one undisputed champion. The point here, though, is just like in most fights that we're watching, when we say a rematch has to happen, right? A rematch has to happen. The criteria is mostly a close fight that could have went either way, right? That's pretty much the criteria for you wanting to see that again. And this criteria just doesn't apply. Like, and I'm saying the names again, Laura, Trout, you know, stuff like that. Don't have to be readdressed. But then Andre Ward, it has to. Pacquiao gonna get that rematch against Bradley. He gotta, you know, outrage Bradley won. The things that have to be readdressed. So either we're gonna be readdressing everything, or we're not. But if we don't, we're gonna be calling out for what it is. Now, shout out Canelo, you know, good fight and everything like that. Like I said, I had Jacobs winning the fight, barely. And for me, they could have a rematch or whatever, but Jacobs is moving on. I know nobody's asking for it. My point is, but if we ask for other matches, then maybe we should be asking for this one too. Doma Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm out of here, y'all.